know that these problems, they really do persist, and our future generations are inheriting these situations that we have created working in these silos. So it's my great honor to introduce our next speaker, Azeezat Fajembola. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Please introduce yourself, and looking forward to your thoughts as well.
Good day, Your Excellencies, esteemed senior colleagues, mentors, and distinguished attendees, especially youths. We're focusing today on the role of animal welfare on One Health, and I'm bringing on the youth perspective. And my discussion, I'll be focusing on from farm to fork, because livestock transformation includes, is focused on One Health, which includes human health, animal health, and environmental health. In dealing with livestock transformation, we are looking at the global agendas, the 2030 agenda, 2050 agenda, and also beyond. The present and future livestock farming is impossible without youth inclusion on innovation, education, intergenerational collaboration, resilience, and a shared commitment to sustainability. Livestock are key drivers for sustainable development in agriculture, which have a significant impact on the environment, including land, soil, water, and biodiversity. Livestock contributes 40% of the global value of agricultural outputs and supports the livelihoods, food, and nutrition security of almost 1.3 billion people. Globally, around 500 million pastoralists, youth inclusive, rely on livestock herding for food income and a store of wealth, collateral, or safety net in times of need. The demand for animal proteins is projected to grow by 70% by 2050, and with food production contributing approximately 1/3 of global greenhouse gas emissions. It is clear there is an urgent need for sustainable farming and production solutions for current and future global citizens. Animal products make up 18% of global caloric intake and provide roughly 40% of the world's dietary protein, accounting for 7% of global food intake, with youth being major consumers from foods we eat every day: pizza, burgers, steak, and the rest, bacon. Animal welfare directly influences animal health, disease susceptibility and transmission, antimicrobial use, environmental impacts, and the most vulnerable among humans, especially youths. We urge global leaders as youths and relevant stakeholders to engage with youths and include their aspirations for this sustainable transformation of the livestock sector. We youths are the agents of change, unlocking ways forward for global food security, safety, and nutrition, where diverse cultural heritage and environment and future generations all thrive within our planetary bodies. Our health is home for us. One Health is home for me, because I've been trained across the 3 pillars of One Health. And I believe after this webinar, our attendees and our listeners across the globe will be convinced and not confused that One Health with active youth involvement should be everyone's priority. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Azeezat, for being so powerful, for being so vocal, and especially for being so engaged in One Health. As you say, often we say that youth are the voice of the future. Absolutely not. As you say, you are the voice of the present and essential agents of change. And precisely because we need that whole of government, whole of society approach, it's very important that youth take some of that leadership role. But what unique role can youth really play in co-creating and scaling One Health solutions? And, what support do you need to succeed?
Thank you so much for that beautiful question. The interesting part about youth being the focal point involved in One Health for livestock transformation is we are involved in the decisions and we are taking the results. That's the interesting thing. When we're involved in the decisions today, we are bearing the results tomorrow because we are the geriatric population of tomorrow. So basically, we can do this through strengthening the knowledge and evidence base towards sustainable livestock policy, such as involving us in policy briefs, initiation, international fora, where youths can discuss and throw their ideas for stakeholders and policymakers to include them in decision making. Technical documents. It's often seen that technical documents are youths are not included in formulation of these documents, and therefore our aspirations are not brought on board to know what we think about, how will this affect us, how do we see it, and what are the outcomes that we might like to see. Data sets and also research. Currently, there is a lot of research going on, and especially in the field of One Health, every 30 seconds, a research is being published. But what amount of this research are known by global citizens, especially youth? What percentage of this research are known by global citizens, are internalized by global citizens, are understood by youths? So basically, youth have to be included so that they know what's happening, the gaps that are present, and so they'll be able to propose solutions and act on them. Another pillar is develop tools, methodologies, and guidelines to provide and access technical and policy options towards sustainable livestock, such as the Livestock Environmental Assessment and Performance, LEAP, partnership, and also the Global Livestock Environment Assessment Model claim. I believe if youth are brought on board in these assessment profiles, there will be advancement of what should be expected on livestock transformation for future generations. Thirdly is the pilot and validate technical and policy options, inclusion of youth through projects that support to upscale and investments such as collaboration with government projects and youth leaders in government and NGOs. Basically, when youths are included, not just in government. For example, I know there are many countries across the globe, the tides are changing. In previous decades, ministers of youth used to be the older population, but in countries like Nigeria, for example, in the past 4 to 5 years, and currently our youth have been youth. When I mean youth are youth, I mean youth are young people. The young people in government are the ones representing young people across the country and across other countries across the globe. So when there is collaboration between youths in government and youth across NGOs and across the country, there is visible change in livestock transformation. Fourthly, we need increase in efficiency of livestock supply chains, which is key to limiting the growth of global greenhouse emissions. If you ask anyone on the road, one thing that is key for me is understanding what should be done. If you ask anyone on the road, what is greenhouse emission? They don't even know. What is greenhouse gas? They don't even know. So I believe when people know about this, they'll be able to bring about transformation in livestock. Invest in youth involvement in veterinary services, animal disease surveillance, and incentives. You should be giving incentives on, especially youth in livestock space. They should be given incentives to be able to upscale whatever they are doing in veterinary service. Recently, I discovered the first graduate degree in planetary health just started last year, which is not supposed to be. Since we are increasing the bridging the knowledge gap on youth investment and youth knowledge on veterinary medicine and One Health. Technology integration, there is no one who is technology savvy like the youths. They are the ones at the focal point of precision farming, allowing for real-time monitoring of animal health and feed efficiency, waste emission, among others. Then collaboration, intergenerational collaboration. As a youth voice across different organizations, one thing I urge for is intergenerational collaboration. The youth cannot do it alone. The older generation cannot do it alone. Women cannot do it alone. The vulnerable cannot do it alone. Children cannot do it alone. So we need collaboration and also multi-stakeholder partnerships to amplify and implement the ideas of the youth. Lastly, setting up advisory councils, such as the Compassion for Farming, set up youth advisory councils, set up student clubs at academic institutions, catch them young. We're talking of livestock transformation, but many people, I love to be realistic. If you go to the street and ask the normal person what is livestock transformation, they don't even know what it's about. So when you catch them young from academic institutions, having student clubs, livestock transformation student club, it's as simple as that. You find out that everyone moves from one level or one phase of a class to another, where they understand what livestock transformation is, what is expected from them, and even have increased interest in farming. So thank you so much. I believe with this and more, we will be able to successfully have a sustainable livestock transformation, not just in the global north, but also in the global south. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Azeezat. That was a lot of information, really packed in. Thank you so much for that. I agree with you on the technology point. Nobody manages that quite like youth. Also, incredible sources of innovation. So we understand that One Health must not only be multi-sectoral, but also intergenerational. So thank you for that, Azeezat. And